Hey, what's going on, you guys? So, a few weeks ago, I posted a video about this woman who was fired by her own matchmaker, basically for being a lost cause. And well, yesterday I happened across an update video on her dating life on another channel called the Better Bachelor. So, I'm going to share that video with you today, but first I'm going to share my original video and afterwards the update with Joker's breakdown. So without further ado, prepare to be amazed and entertained if you can stomach it.
Was rejected by a matchmaker this week. You wouldn't be able to work with me. When we met, I told her what I was looking for and told her a lot about me. And I tried to highlight some of my core qualities, including the fact that I'm very, very type A, organized. I like to be the leader. I also told her I was looking for a man who was also a leader because I don't want to always be the leader, believe it or not. I told her I was looking for someone that was at or above the same income level as me, driven, who is ambitious, who is ready for a long-term relationship and ready to get married. She may have actually picked up on the fact that I'm a little high strung. I'm not like a stressed out or anxious person. I'm just high energy or type A. This is who I am. And she was asking me, do I meditate? No. Do I journal? No. Do anything woo? And I said, no. I said, in fact, I'm not even on the same planet as woo. When talking about what I didn't like in a man, I said I could never really be with a beta type man. I specifically used the word doormat. I said I would chew them up and spit them out. Saying that, men really like a soft woman and I should try some of these vision board journaling, meditating type of things. Would never be that type of person. I asked her if she thought I would be ready for her services. Her response, she essentially said that I am not ready for her type of services because I have too much work to do. My walls are too high. And I'm not ready for a long-term committed relationship at the ripe age of 38, where I've been in therapy for 10 plus years. She also said that she's too woo for me, which I can accept that. That's fine. However, I shouldn't need to be a woo type person to be worthy of love. She also said that I need to soften a little bit. And men like a softer woman. Essentially, I spent $350 to meet with this woman, have her tell me I am not worthy of love as I am, but the fact that I need to change in order to be worthy of love and partnership. Which honestly, I think for that reason alone, she should have her matchmaking license taken away because we shouldn't be pushing on these narratives that people are not worthy as they are. And essentially telling women that the type of woman they are isn't worthy of love.
Well, it sounds to me like one session with this matchmaker pointed out more accountability than a decade with her therapist. I don't meditate, I don't journal, I don't do woo, whatever that means, but I imagine spirituality, and I'm never going to try those things. So, what work has she been paying her therapist to do for 10 years? Gossip and confirmation bias sessions, I imagine. I don't know about you, but this woman sounds deeply disagreeable and completely uncoachable. And then when this matchmaker said that they wouldn't be a good fit to work together, she immediately took that rejection like she was being told that she wasn't worthy of love. That is a massive rejection wound just bleeding all over the canvas. Hence why she went on the attack, spewing verbal vomit all over the internet and demanding her money back and the end of that matchmaker's career. Once again, this is the type of inner work and awareness that I imagine 10 years of therapy would touch on. That is the refund that she should be looking for. I think that the matchmaker's refusal to work with her was actually very professional. Rather than accepting more money from a client she didn't believe she could provide the right value to, she kept it real. She let her know that they wouldn't be a good fit and gave some constructive criticism and a suggestion towards cultivating more internal soft skills like exploring emotions and spirituality. Not once did she say that she wasn't worthy of love, and I also find it interesting to have such an aggressive response to criticism and accountability while also claiming to want to be with a man who is a leader. The math doesn't math. There's a lot more we could break down, like how she said she doesn't want any beta males and that type of rhetoric, or we could talk about how she requires a man above her pay grade, and depending on what that is, we might be talking about a very small percentage of highly successful men. And we all know the red pill guys will be quick to jump on that and say that such men don't want some woman in her late 30s, but it's deeper than that, as I don't think that any smart, successful men will be interested in building a home with a wounded type A personality. Type A includes aggressive, ambitious, highly competitive, preoccupied with status, workaholic, hostile, and lacking patience. While these traits can make you a shark in the corporate world, who wants to come home and raise kids with someone like that? Balance and healing is key. A wounded and insecure type A person is a bull in a china shop. They will be demanding, micromanaging, uncooperative, inflexible, high-strung. They will not be a place of comfort or peace. Our relationships are a reflection of ourselves. If I was a betting man, I would bet that the only types of men who would be willing to put up with such wounded type A energy would ironically be the betas, the wounded men who lack boundaries and backbones, who will cater to all the demands, men who are looking for their mothers, the men that she said that she would chew up and spit out, while some of the more alpha types may stop by for some milk from time to time, but they will not be buying the cow. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts on that. What do you think? And now, the update.
This is how you do not plan a freaking date. I am here gonna show you with receipt. I have been on one date with this man. I think this guy is great. I had such a nice time with him. We had so much fun. We had a lot in common.
Okay. It's the same voice that was in the other video. Everything ends on an uptone. It's like she's talking, I don't know, down to you. Blah, 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 blah. I could not listen to that all night. I would be pulling my hair out. Pulling my hair out. I would not be able to put up with this. But she explains she has a good time with this guy. It's a second date. She was excited for it. Now watch her completely sabotage it in the matter of 5 texts.
Could not wait to go on a second date with him. A week or so later, he finally texts me and is like, hey, are you free Sunday for brunch? I'm like, yeah, great. That Saturday night, he sends me this text. Are you still up for brunch?
Okay. They go on the date. He gives it a few days to stew, or about a week. She says about a week later. He texts her on a Saturday. Now, let me replay that just to make sure I have it clear. Let me make sure so I don't mistake this.
I'm like, yeah, great. We had a lot in common. I could not wait to go on a second date with him. A week or so later, he finally texts me and is like, hey, are you free Sunday for brunch? I'm like, yeah, great. That Saturday night.
Okay, so that week, sometime during the week, he said, are you free for brunch this Sunday morning? And she says, yes.
He sends me this text. Are you still up for brunch? Yes, I'm still up for brunch.
He was trying to solidify the plans. If I ask somebody to do something on Sunday and it's Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to follow up with a little reminder of, hey, don't forget, we got plans. Are you still up for it? I do this with my guy friends. Like if a guy friend says, hey, Saturday, we're going to go, I don't know, shoot paintball or something or other. Friday or Thursday, I'll hit him up and say, hey, we still doing that on Saturday? And yeah, he'd be like, yeah.
I could come your way if you know a good spot. Okay, let me do the heavy lifting for you, buddy.
He didn't ask for you to make the arrangements. He didn't ask for her to call and make reservations. He didn't ask for you to pay for it. He asked, I could come your way if you know a good spot, meaning you don't have to drive out here in my neck of the woods. I'll come to you and make it easier on you. How about you choose some place that you like? If you know a good spot for brunch, hey, let's go for it. Like your lady's choice. And she finds a way to make that negative and calls it heavy lifting.
So I give him a list of these places. He says, oh, the Dutch Eye. Not even sure what that means.
So she sends him a list of 4, well, how many places is it here? She says, I've been dying to try Comfort and Floyd, the Dutch, or El Puerto de Loreto. And she says, not sure if any take reservations, etc. Now he says, oh, the Dutch Eye. A-Y-E, not E-Y-E. Now, A-Y-E means yes. For those of you that are older than 14 and know anything about English history or the English language, or I guess that would be Scottish, Irish, I don't know. They just hear a lot of, oh, I am big ora, right? So she says it's a negative.
A list of these places. He says, oh, the Dutch Eye.
Now he said 2 O's. Now I know this is like boiling everything. This is like boiling stones, but this stuff matters when you're trying to communicate. O-O-H is not O. O-O-H, what he sent is O or ooh, the Dutch Eye. He's saying, oh, the Dutch. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. But what she could have done is replied to him saying, is that good? Is that a negative? Do you want to try it? Did you want to pick something like normal human people do? It's called a conversation. It's called talking. You could pick up the phone and say, hey, I wasn't sure. Now, he could have done the same, but he thought she probably read his text okay, so he didn't read into it too much. And she left him on read. She didn't reply.
Not even sure what that means. So then that morning I get a text from him. Howdy, how does two sound? I never heard back from him the night before. So what do I say?
Hold on. She says, I didn't hear back from him the night before. She left him on red. She read his message. And then, because you see that there's a little time break in here and it says today at 9:45 a.m. He said, oh, the Dutch. Aye. Or maybe he did say, oh, the Dutch. Aye. No, me lassie, I don't want to go there. Either way, she responded with nothing. Now, as most dating coaches, guys, men's content creators tell you, it's like a game of tennis. You put the ball in their court, they put it back, at least when you're initially starting to date. Because if you keep sending, tennis balls at them, they're going to feel overwhelmed and run away. So he replied back, and then he didn't hear anything, and he didn't say anything. But she's going to say he didn't say anything more, so it's his fault. She left him on red.
I heard back from him the night before, so what do I say? Oh, and I didn't hear back last night about a reservation or anything concrete. I made plans for this afternoon. You cannot, for a second date, try and make plans the morning of. So what is his response?
He didn't make the plans the morning of. He made it a week ago. And then he reminded you the day before. And then he offered to come to you, and he offered to let you pick the place, like being a gentleman. And then because you misunderstood a response, you left him on red. And then when he followed up and said, well, how about two? Because he didn't hear anything from her the night before. Now she's like, oh, when I didn't hear anything back last night about a reservation, she left him on red, remember? Or anything concrete. I made plans for this afternoon. How?
Ends the morning of. So what is his response? Okay, cool. He, I think, got the point. You missed out is what happened. Sorry.
His response to her was, okay, cool. Not, how dare you? What did I do wrong? You're such a witch. You're all these off. No, he's just like, okay, cool. And in his mind, he's thinking, I avoided a problem here. I avoided a problematic person. He learned. He has learned. Now, maybe he has so many, fish in the sea. He just decided to recast his line, and by 4:00 this afternoon was balls deep in something else. That's probably the reality of it, especially if Miss Thing here was all excited to go out. But instead of learning a lesson out of this, she says he learned a lesson. Don't talk to me. Don't treat me. Don't do that. She twisted everything he did. And you hear the lie in her own words. Because she said it was last minute. He didn't follow up. He tried to make it hard on her. This is why she's still single at the tender age of 38. This is why.
So yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to add. All I can really say is, yep, that checks out. Relationships are not for entitled, scornful people. People who strut around saying that they have standards, but in reality are just so incredibly superficial and selfish. It's like the person who says, people don't like me because I'm just too honest. It's like, no, people don't like you because you're honestly an asshole. This lady says that she wants a highly successful masculine man. Well, none of those types of men are going to put up with a woman who will cause nothing but headaches. If he's got another option, you better believe that he is going to take it. The only men that will stick around with this type of woman are the type of men who will tuck their tail between their legs and apologize and start jumping through her hoops like a circus clown. The very betas that she says that she hates are all that she can align with, because that is a reflection of herself. That, or the guys who hook up with her and then ghost her.